You're listening to the podcast for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and founders who are tired of the client hustle. We believe sustainable business isn't about chasing new leads. It's about keeping the great clients you already have. Let's dive in. Sam here. Happy to have you.
That gives you.
Yeah, and John is going to be our guest today. And we both have a passion and a heart for connection, talking specifically about retention, client retention. Your business will be better, stronger, and have more of an impact when you keep your best clients longer. If you're new here, welcome. This is Retention Made Simple, where we help our clients keep their best clients longer to build a stronger business. And we like to talk about all those kinds of things. And so I got connected with John via talks.co. It's a podcasting kind of connector platform. And I've actually really enjoyed it, getting to chat with people beforehand, see if they're a good fit, and then we get them on this show. So John, just introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are, how you help in the world, where you're at in the world, and we'll just have a conversation from there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Sam. And thank you for inviting me to be part of your podcast. It's great to be here and have this discussion with a like-minded, retention-minded professional like you. So I'm John, and I help small and medium-sized business owners and marketing leaders build compounding growth engines. A little bit about my history before we go there or go into that. I started my marketing career out when I was 16 as a graphic designer for a local newspaper. Fast forward 10 years later, I landed at the San Francisco Giants and I was their art director there for 10 seasons. I'm going to age myself a bit here, but with the advent of the internet, design went digital fast. So I decided to launch my own boutique communications and events agency while I was living in Napa Valley. There I worked at Napa Valley Life magazine as their creative director. I freelanced with the Wall Street Journal as their marketing director for their C-level events or marketing art director. I pioneered a sustainable lifestyle focused public festival that had world music and green-minded sponsors and exhibitors, which was a big hit with locals and with visitors to Napa Valley. One of my bigger clients was the U.S. Tennis Association of Northern California. When their marketing leadership position came up, I decided to go for it, and it was a natural fit. I launched some great campaigns there, built out their community programs, and reached demographics that were leaking out of our membership bucket. Super successful there. I've also worked in the dental and education technology industries. These are backed by private equity mostly these days, and there's some fast-moving companies. Additionally, I volunteer as VP of membership for the American Marketing Association, and that's at Sacramento Valley. And I do work with other local nonprofits.
Yeah. You've had your finger in some things. I wrote down about the newspaper. It seems if you're young and you get marketing in your blood, it just happens. You have no choice about it. But I don't know how that is. And I don't know exactly, when I look back on my story, where it exactly happened. But I know I've owned a newspaper. I worked for newspapers. I've done design. I've done sales. I've done like all the things. And I just know that whenever I create something that inspires somebody to do something, that I love that thing. And like right now, we work with local businesses and we're inspiring their customers to stay, right? They're good at getting customers already. That's what they're already doing that, but we help them stay. And there's just something magical about knowing that. And so it's interesting when I find somebody that's really good at marketing or they have that in their blood, it usually started at a young age.
It did. Yeah, it really did. And I started in a different way, not your traditional marketing person, but that was marketing. That was advertising. That was Mad Men back then.
Yeah.
Again, aging myself a little bit, but that is the way it is. And so you go with the times. You move, you ride the wave. And keeping up with technology has been always easy for me. And so creating new technology, which is what I've been doing with Retention Directive, not technology, but systems, it just is natural. And it's just like you, we do this to help people that need it, business owners, small business owners, or marketing leaders that are getting stuck within their job. You have a system behind you, and then you get freed up to do other things that you love as well.
Yeah, for sure. And so you're still in California. And so
I'm outside
stayed
Sacramento.
there your whole life.
Yeah, moved around here and there, Southern California, the Bay Area, but yeah, out by Sac right now.
Okay, very cool. I have been out to California a few times, but My Texas roots just keep pulling me right back.
We just had a
Yeah.
big earthquake, actually, a decent sized earthquake out here today, just today. I think it was a 5.6 out by Fort Bragg. I
Oh
don't think
my.
there's any damage, but it's California and things are going to shake.
Yeah. 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 That's crazy. I don't think I could handle that. But I think no matter where you live, you all have something, whether it's the earthquakes or fires or tornadoes or floods, we all have something, right? So it's just you have to choose what you're going to be okay with. Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned the retention directive. And for
Yeah.
those that have been watching and follow me, you understand that I believe that without a system, it's not going to happen. I can literally tell you my exact system, and I have. I've created a workbook. There's a long form video here on YouTube where literally I give you every single thing to do. But if you don't create the system around it, you're never going to do it. And so, talk a little bit about what you have, John, with your retention directive system.
Yeah. So, like I said, I help business owners, marketing leaders, to build compounding growth engines. And so it's what this called is the retention directive. And it's powered by the loyalty engine growth system, or LENGS. And this helps business leaders run retention or turn retention from a tactical afterthought to their new primary growth strategy. So for the small owner operator businesses, think about it as exponentially growing your capacity. Now you're doing things to run the business on the back end. You're the face of it, and you go try to reach more people. Maybe you had time to plan some campaigns that led to some new customers, but you didn't have a way to engage those customers into growing your business. With a growth system in place, well, one that engages your customers and you, in a systematic way, you can spend less time and money acquiring new customers, and the customers you have become the growth engine. For
Yeah.
larger organizations, they're stuck in something I call the acquisition trap. And that's VPs of marketing, CMOs, marketing directors. They're trapped in endless acquisition cycles. They're chasing new leads while existing customers, they quietly churn. The retention directive is focused on serving service-based businesses, so such as HVAC, plumbing, pest control, cleaning, electrical, restoration, roofing, those other similar recurring service businesses. These businesses spend heavily on acquisition. You've seen all the ads, they come in your mail, they're in the magazine that has all the ads stuck together. They spend a lot of money and they do this constantly. It looks like their marketing budgets look like 80% acquisition and only 20% retention. So with budgets like that, you're looking at a high churn rate as well. Um,
Yeah, it
that's
happens for sure.
yeah, and that's what I call the acquisition trap. It's a systemic condition where marketing leaders become enslaved to short-term lead generation, and they're sacrificing the one thing that actually compounds, which is customer loyalty. And that's what executives really want. They want to see predictable growth, and that's where the system comes in.
Yeah, it's so good. Our systems are different, but they have the same heart, right? And so there's more than one way to get something done. And what I just appreciate is the understanding, because we were talking before we went live, that nobody is talking about retention. Like Alex Hermosi, his company is acquisition.com. He teaches acquisition, surprise, right? That's what he does. But even Alex, I've seen, I don't know if you follow any of his stuff, but I've seen several of his videos recently that he's been looping in retention as part of the frameworks that he's teaching, because I think that people are starting to understand that as you acquire, if they're going out the back door as fast as they're coming in the front door, it's just this loop, this
Yeah,
never ending loop, and it's exhausting. And I don't want to be part of that.
it is exhausting. It's exhausting for the professionals within the companies that just constantly have to chase these new leads, and then they churn, and then they're just every quarter they're redoing the same thing over and over again. But when Alex Formosi is now getting into retention, I feel like I'm late already, because this guy's got a following that's just gonna, that retention cycle that he's gonna build is going to be, it's just like gangbusters. But he knows it's the right track, just like we do. And
Yeah.
so we're on the right path, but we know that this is what our constituents, our families, our businesses, our marketing leaders, those people need. And you
Yeah.
know what's going to happen too is they're going to get these systems, and they're going to be seen, if they're in a medium sized or larger business, they're going to be seen as a growth architect in their companies. Leadership of the board, they're going to see them as that, not as like a tactical executioner anymore. So that, from that aspect, but also for the small business owner, think about the things that you can do, those pet projects you've always wanted to do for your business. You're now freed up to do that because you've got this system that's going. You have to pay attention to it, but it's not, you're growing. You're actually growing while you're doing those other things that you have more time
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. And it's for my process, it's definitely not a set it and forget it. You have to create the process, you implement, and then once a week or once a month, you go in and look at what needs to be done. You do that, you get it done. And when you show your clients appreciation, which is a big part of what I teach, appropriate appreciation in ways that they don't expect, they're just going to think of you. The goal of branding is to help people make an association that you want them to make in their brain. When they hear John's name, they associate this, right? And when they hear Sam, they think this. And so, in my experience, making people feel appreciated, to not feel like a number. I had, like, we bought a chair recently off of Facebook Marketplace, and I'm highly allergic to cats. And I asked the people selling, did you have any pets? And they said, no, we had dogs. I said, dogs are fine. Cats are not cool. And so get the chair home, and I'm highly allergic to this chair. And it's a beautiful chair and it's well made, and I want to keep the chair. So I decide to find somebody to clean it. Right. And so in my town, I actually have a local directory that I've created that's just for goodwill, and also building in it's part of my lead gen process, where as I start to make friends with people in the local community, because I moved here 4 years ago and I still don't know anybody, it's making me get out and meet people. So I called one of the women that does restoration, and I'm like, hey, I know this is like a small thing, it's a chair, but do you know anybody that would be able to come and help me clean this chair? And she gave me a person, and they came and they did it. And it's been very interesting to me. It's just one example. I will never hear from them again. I'm
Yeah.
100% sure I will never hear from this company again.
It's not making like almost want to cry because
Yeah. I'm like,
there's a few simple things they can do, right?
just this very like, and they don't even have to cost a ton of money. It's just the intentionality behind it. And so he's got a good reputation with the girl that I called, the woman I called and asked for the referral. So they've done enough work together that he was the one that she made the association with. But what he doesn't understand is every job he does, probably 10 to 20 a day would be my guess. If he just created a process to send a thank you email, even not even a card or something, but just something, and who do you know? Or there's a million things that they could do, but I will never hear from him again. And
Yeah.
it's exciting to me.
As a homeowner, you have people come into your house, right? And they're doing things, their HVAC, their refrigeration. And you can tell what companies have customer service down right. They know what to tell their staff who are out there in the field, like how to talk about other products that they have, maybe to upsell a little bit. They
Right.
train them on that. They train them on customer service, of course, as they should be. A lot of small business owner operators, the customer service is not, they're not trained in it. They're just running their business. And I had some guy come over to my house, and he working on my refrigerator, barely made eye contact. He was I believe he's the owner. There was miscommunication about what was needed to be done. And I was there from a standpoint, yeah, you're local. I want to do business with you, but I also want to help you out too. So I grabbed the question a little bit, and we didn't end up doing the second part of the job because he just never contacted me. If there was something else that we could have, some other way we could have communicated more, the more you communicate, the more, even if you're not a happy customer, you learn from those people as well. And those are some of the main feedback.
Yeah, that's actually, so my system is a 3-part system. One is onboarding having a good onboarding system where you gather data to where you can use it later. The second part is appropriate appreciation. And the third part is actionable feedback. You have to ask for feedback. And a lot of times people say, oh, I don't want to ask for feedback. I don't want to know. That means you know you suck. If you don't want to ask for
Multiple
feedback,
deniability.
there's a problem. And so how about we ask, and then I'm telling you, whenever I ask for feedback from our clients or for the clients we do this for, we say, I want you to tell me one thing we're doing really well and one thing we could do better. And I will put on the form, or if I'm talking to them, and this is not the time to pat Sam on the back saying Sam's doing everything great. There's always room for improvement. We need to know. And if you won't tell me, then I'm not going to be able to make my process better. And I have a women's community that I have been running since 2015. And I host a virtual retreat every fall. And I've been doing the last few years. And the first time I did that, like I'm doing the retreat and we have some breaks, it's like a 4 or 6 hour thing. And we had one break in the middle. But one of the things the ladies gave me feedback on was we need more than one break. This is a long thing. We need to have bio breaks and get some water. And so if I hadn't asked for feedback, we'd still be just pushing through doing it. But now when I do these top of the hour, I know where I'm at teaching or whatever I'm doing. We take a 5 to 10 minute break to where everybody can get what they need. And it's when you can make improvements in your system and processes because of the feedback a client gave you, and then you let them know that you made that change because of them, they're going to trust you in a way that nothing else will ever allow for.
I think you're right. That last bit is like an extra step that I think a lot of people wouldn't think about. And that helps them feel like they're part of building that business, your business with them. And I think that's a great deal of pride, community pride. It's what, if you don't learn, you don't grow. So you need to continue learning, whether it's new systems, technology, or just learning from your customers.
Yeah.
Your customers that you have right now are going to help shape your growth. But you have to ask for feedback. You have to ask them, survey them. They might need another service that you don't offer right now. So if you're an HVAC company, you don't offer plumbing, but you think you've heard them talk about plumbing, that's something you could possibly add on. If you're an HVAC company that doesn't have a membership or a program, or maybe one that's not working, then you need to figure that out, because that's a great retention tool right there, is a membership, some kind of membership tool. Yeah, they will inform you of your customers will inform you of new products to create, new potentially ways to communicate. You might see them want to be DM on social media. There might be other communities, online communities where they can be on. You can build your own online community now. And depending on there's a lot of tools for that, but depending on what your business is, it might make sense to do that.
Yeah. And finding out one of the fun, and I think it's because of what I do that I notice these things, because some people might not notice. But if the form says, how would you prefer to be communicated with? And you tell them, and then they still do the others instead. They're like, that. And I don't know if other people notice that or not, but I'm like, dude, I said email is my preferred way, because for me, anything that lives on my phone, even if it's a text message, it's highly likely it's going to be forgotten. But with email, I file that. I'm inbox zero girl most of the time, where literally everything gets seen, everything gets managed. And if you want to know for sure that I got it, it needs to be email.
Yeah.
So don't ask me and then text me.
So these forms these ways to communicate, they're hard work, right? Because in the hard work in setting up and building and understanding how they relate, and there's a lot of hard work that comes up front. You get that done, and then you can reap the benefits later on. What I mean by that is, say, for instance, you learned how to create a customer or feedback form, and you had all those checkboxes on there, but you didn't pay attention, and you didn't offer some of those other ways of communicating. But they checked those. So maybe you're just not paying attention to that, because you're just going to go back to your old system because that's what you're comfortable with. You just need to dot those I's and cross those T's. If something is generated, a lot of people will get forms generated by AI, right? And these are great tools, saves you a ton of money, and they think really well for you. I use AI. I've been using AI for the past couple of years now, and building business and content creation. It's a great tool, but you have to check it. And,
I have to check it.
yeah. And what is your capacity to do what AI is telling you to do? You really have to read it all over. It's a fantastic tool. I've learned a lot, and everybody will learn a lot, but they have to put the time into it and to understanding what's going on.
Yeah. So I love AI, which I think a lot of people are confused about because I teach a place of operating from a place of humanity and relationships. But I love AI, and here's why. Because if I can get AI to do all the things that it can do really well for me, and then that allows me to have more conversations, more real experiences with people, then it's a win-win. There's just certain things that AI cannot do, and I'm going to focus on those, right? And so I love using AI as long as I'm not replacing the humanity. And yeah, that's been a big part of what I do and helping our businesses. We can automate a lot of what we do and the reminders to where, like, if part of it is, hey, it's John's birthday, we can have a card automatically go out from one of our systems for your birthday. But then you get a text. I would get a reminder saying, hey, it's John's birthday today. Send him a message or call him. That's like a real human thing, not just an automated thing.
Yeah, absolutely. People are very exposed to AI now, and they'll see it. You can tell when something might be AI generated and when it's not. So
Yeah.
you can't make that mistake.
Yeah. I think we could probably continue on for quite a while. I do know that you have, I forgot what you called it, but it's where they can look and figure out their gap or something.
Yeah,
Tell me about that as we begin to close.
there's a couple of things. Here's what I'm offering. So I had something called the acquisition trap assessment. And so if you want to learn where you stand in the acquisition trap and what to do about it, take this assessment. It's only 33 minutes, and you'll receive a score, your category in the trap, personalized recommendations for your next step, and a detailed breakdown in your email. Now, so look at here's the thing. The acquisition trap is a silent killer for service businesses. It's acquiring a new customer costs 5 to 25 times more than retaining an existing. I'm sure you know that. But every point of churn requires 3 to 5 times more than retaining an existing one. So at the end of the day, acquisition delivers spikes, retention delivers predictability. And that's what you as a business owner or leader need for growth. So the system that is built for you. So if you go to retentiondirective.com, and there's two things you go to. There's the acquisition trap. Then there's also one thing you do pretty quickly, and this is really neat. It's a diagnostic that I just created, and it's called the Repeat Revenue Leak Diagnostic. So for anyone listening who wants to see where their business is leaking repeat revenue, we built a free 12-minute diagnostic at Retention Directive, and it scores you across 5 retention pillars and tells you where your primary leak is. So go to retentiondirective.com, early access, that early-access, and you can take it right from there. And if you want the full build plan when it launches, you can join the founding list at the same link. The full plan is the Retention Directive Roadmap Growth Kit, and you'll be directed to all the details about that once you've completed your diagnostic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll make sure that link is around here, around wherever they're watching. One of the things that I get pushback on sometimes with the people that are in my world because they don't get some of the same things. It's why would you interview somebody doing the same thing as you? There's a couple of reasons. Number one, what you're doing is not the same thing as me. It's different because we're different. But there's also this whole thing of there's more than enough to go around. And somebody's going to need what you have versus what I have, and vice versa. Right. And so what they're looking for may fit more what you have versus me. And as long as I continue living out of abundance and gratitude, I think God's got me and God's got you, and it's all going to work out. And the people that need you are going to find you, and the people that need me are going to find me.
Yeah, these are the episodes you want to tune into because these are two retention heads converging together. This is like a superpower episode right here. We just want to give back. We want to help. Great. And when you say leading out of gratefulness, that is something that I do. I do reflect every day. I'm grateful to be here and be a part of this, but also to continue to grow. And I just heard from a friend say, checked up on me a while ago. He's asked, how's the retention directive doing? And I said, it's doing great. Actually, I have a podcast today. And they're like, wow. So we're going to go watch some soccer and have a beer later and talk about it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So,
excited.
yeah.
I'm excited about that. and I will keep you posted on when it goes live. But right now, it will be live on YouTube on my channel. So it'll be there if you want to send him the link, you can get that. And I believe that whenever I think you were the one that whenever I sent the form, you said you gave me a little bit of pushback on that mailing address.
Hey.
Somebody asked me that they said that it's on my form for opting in.
Oh,
I did. That was,
yeah. And
and
that
I
was,
was,
what'd you
yeah.
say?
And here, I want to just address it really quickly because you opened my eyes to something that I didn't think about, because I do ask for mailing address on the information for the podcast. And the reason I do it, I know why I do it.
Because you
Because
said,
I like to send something out afterwards to say thank you. But if somebody doesn't know you, they don't understand why you're asking for it, maybe make it optional like I did, or give it some context as you send it, right? And that's what I've started doing, making sure. And so I meant to mention this earlier on the onboarding piece. When you onboard somebody and you have all these questions on there, make sure you explain why you're asking for them, or make them optional, or both, right? To where that they can feel comfortable giving you the information. Most of the time when I do an onboarding form, they're already my client. They know that they're going to have to give me all this stuff. And I hadn't thought about it from the idea for the podcast that you don't know me. Why are you going to give me your address? So that was feedback that I took, right?
yeah.
And can make my process better. So
And
thank
now I
you.
would happily give you my address.
Okay, good. Because I want it so I can know you something good. So very good. John, enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy the soccer. We don't do much sports around here, but I'm getting information from people about what's happening with the soccer stuff, and it's been pretty exciting.
Yeah, I get involved in the most sports outside, I like football, but otherwise it's playoffs when I get involved in it. That's when it gets really fun. But yeah, you can get, but in the energy of it.
Yeah, for sure. One of the guys that works for me, he actually is from London and he lives in Mexico now in Playa del Carmen. And so when one of the first games was London against Mexico, I don't know. And I have to take the afternoon off to go watch. And I'm like, okay,
You need a full afternoon at least.
no, no. So it was good to chat with you, and
Very nice chatting with
I
you.
hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great day.
I think it was very good, very good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
thank
think
you.
the links are all around there, and it'll probably be the second Friday in July or I'm sorry, the third Friday in July is probably when it'll go live, but I'll confirm with you for sure.
Okay. Oh, it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, this was a great conversation to be on. And I don't know if I told you this, but this is my first kind of podcast
No,
like this.
you did
So
very well. You did
I
very well.
appreciate that. Thank you. Hopefully we can touch base again in the future and see where we're
Yeah, I agree. Very good. All right. Have a great afternoon.
Yeah, thank you too.
Bye. Remember, the fastest path to growth isn't always the next new client. It's strengthening your relationships with your current ones. And if you want to be a guest to share your tip or get personalized retention advice, check the show notes for details. Thanks for listening.